side plank rotation. So in this side plank position, we're putting a lot of load through that shoulder girdle that's on the planted side or the elbow that's on the ground. And then when we add that rotation, what we're doing is we're getting our trunk to kind of rotate around my elbow on a fixed point, which puts a little demand on my shoulder joint, puts a lot of demand on my trunk muscles. So when you do this, it's really hard to stay perfectly in a straight line because you kind of have to clear some space for your hips to rotate because your elbow is fixed and your feet are fixed. So you have to get some rotation through your hips and through your spine in some capacity that allows the rotation. The idea is we're trying to actually rotate the top elbow to the ground and then rotate back out of it so my shoulders are in that like stacked position. So if I go from the side here, when I'm on the ground, I'm gonna get my feet stacked on top of each other, and then I'm gonna have my elbow about in line with my ankles. And when I bridge up, my shoulders are completely stacked on top of each other. And then when I go to do the bridge, I'm gonna rotate, I'm gonna sink my hips back a little bit, but I'm trying to rotate my elbow to the ground, come back to that start position, and then go hand up top. And I like to add the hand up top cue. You don't have to do it, but it kind of, on average, it'll give people that sensation to actually push back away from the floor. Because a lot of times what we'll see for compensation patterns is people will kind of sink into the floor and then they'll just stay, they'll just stay in this position versus getting the elbow down, driving this elbow away from the floor as I reach and try to get as long as I can through my arms and get those shoulder joints stacked on top of each other. So again, this is like a lateral strengthening drill, so kind of hip, obliques, but when we add that rotation component, we can get a little bit demand in the shoulder joint and some of our shoulder stabilizers, especially, if I'm thinking about driving my elbow through the floor as I'm reaching to that rotation position, it just gets a little bit more of a demand in that shoulder joint.